guess we'll decide sometime.
Hey guys, it's Elena. Welcome back. This week I went to Joann's and I saw a picture of a super cute vintage apron and I wanted to recreate it. So I'm going to tell you everything you need and show you how to do it, and so that you can make one just like this. If you would please like this video and please subscribe, it would really help me out. So last time I was at Joann's, I was poking around looking at the different patterns and I saw a pattern for a vintage apron. I thought it was so cute, but I didn't want to pay $20 per pattern. So I took a picture of it and got some inspiration from it. So I ended up getting 2.5 yards of some cute wintry fabric, and then I got 3 yards of a cute eyelet ruffle, and it ended up being more than I needed, so you could probably get away with getting about 2.5 yards of that. So this is the drawing that I originally put together. I was originally going to have the straps cross, but I ended up not having enough fabric for that, so I just had them come straight down, kind of like bra straps. I have listed there all of the different dimensions of all the pieces that you need. So go ahead and just fold out your fabric and cut out each of those squares, and do make sure, if you have directional fabric like I did, that everything is going the right direction. So I first cut out one bib, and then here I am cutting out the waistband. As you can tell, I'm being very precise with my crappy measuring method, but this is what worked with me. I don't have the biggest mat in the world, so I just did my best, and then I'm just making it even with a rotary cutter. And then here I am cutting out the skirt, and I did mine in multiple different panels just so that I could make sure that all my fabric was going the right direction, and that just was what worked best with what I had. And then here I am cutting out the 2 straps that I needed. Then you can go ahead and cut your eyelet ruffle in half, and you're going to use that on your straps. And I had some extra fabric, so I decided last minute to make a pocket in the shape of a heart, which is just like the cutest thing in the world. So I cut out a heart out of a piece of paper, just folded, and then I just cut out 2 pieces of fabric all around the heart. That way I can sew them right sides together and then have something that I can sew onto the skirt to make a little pocket. Once you've cut out your heart, you can put the pieces right sides together and then pin all the way around, and then mark just like an inch or 2 on one of the sides to leave it so you can put it right sides out. And then you can pin right sides together your 2 skirt panels, and that's where you're going to sew them together. Again, make sure that your directions are going the same way. And then you're going to do something very similar for the waistband. I ended up cutting my waistband into 3 different panels. That way I wouldn't have a seam in the center. I thought it would make it less noticeable if I did 3 panels instead of 2, since my fabric wasn't long enough to just do one single panel. So just pin all 3 panels right sides together and making sure that the directions are all the same. Now you need to prepare your straps. So take your fabric, iron it in half, and then fold in both raw edges in so that they meet in the center, and then fold it again so that you have right sides all along and it's folded on one edge. And then on your opening, you can just go ahead and pin your ruffle into it. Make sure that it's all really nice and straight and secure. Now you can just sew all the way around the heart that you cut out, making sure to leave about a 1 to 2 inch section where you're not sewing, that you can put it right sides out. And then you can also sew down the panels together that you previously pinned on your skirt and waistband. Then you can take your bib, fold it down about a 1/4 to 1/2 inch, and then fold down again and that's going to make a really nice finished edge on the top of that bib part. Take your long waistband piece and iron open the seams so that when you are folding it down, you want it to lay as flat as possible. So iron those seams open, and then you're going to fold it and iron it just like you did the straps. So fold it in half, iron, fold in both sides to the center, and then fold it in half again. And then put your heart right sides out, and I ended up using a metal chopstick that I had laying around to help get those curves to pop out, and then ironing it flat. Now we want to gather the skirt. So take the top raw edge of your skirt panels and sew a basting stitch all along the top. And then just pull your top string on both ends until it starts to gather. And then you can put it inside of the folds of your waistband and then pin it. At this point, I suggest that you try it on. Make sure that you like how long it is, and just make sure it fits to what you had in mind. Before you end up sewing your skirt to your waistband, you want to make sure that you hem the side raw edges. So I just did a really small, simple double folded hem, just folded it with my fingers all the way down. And then I went ahead and just did a normal straight stitch all along, attaching the skirt to the waistband. Also make sure you go ahead and extend that stitch all along the rest of the waistband and the rest of where you're going to tie it to make sure that fold is going to stay shut. Go ahead and do a straight stitch on your straps, attaching that ruffle to your straps so that they don't come out and they stay nice and cute and secure. Before you attach everything all together, make sure that you're taking a snack break and eating the cookies that your friends made you. They're pretty good. But once you go to attach it, what I did was I just overlapped my bib to the strap with like a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch overlapping, and then pinned it. Did that for both sides. Make sure that everything is going up the same direction if you have directional fabric, again like I did, and make sure that your ruffle is sticking out. Then you can just do a normal stitch attaching where you pinned, and make sure to go back and forth at that top just to make sure that nothing pulls apart in the future. And then in a similar fashion, I just set the bib onto the waistband, overlapping again, probably about a 1/2 inch, and pinned it exactly where I wanted it. Make sure everything is centered. Again, I suggest that you try it on just to make sure you like how everything's looking, and then just sew all along that tie waistband, attaching the bib to that skirt portion of your apron. It's a little bit hard to tell, but here I'm just attaching and pinning the heart pocket onto the right side of the skirt. So I just put on the apron and found a spot that I liked it. And then here I'm just sewing along the edge of the heart, leaving the top open. Next, you have to hem the skirt of your apron. So, like always, I'm doing a double folded hem. I wanted to shorten my apron just a little bit, so instead of cutting it, I just did a larger hem. So I folded it up about an inch, inch and a half, and then folded it up one more time. Ironed it so it was really nice and straight, pinned it, and then you can go ahead and just do a normal stitch along the bottom to secure everything in place. Once you're done hemming, I would suggest you put on your apron and then have a friend help you pull down the straps and pin the straps to your waistband so that way you know where to position them, and then just do a straight stitch so that they are nice and secured to your tie. Okay guys, here it is, the finished apron. I love how it turned out. It really fits what I was looking for, and I love the ruffle. I love how vintage and feminine it is. I hope that you enjoyed this video and that you're able to make something similar. Please like and subscribe. It would really help me out.